Welcome to the Garden Report, Part 2 on CLNS and Celtics Blog. Jared Weiss here, Jimmy Giscano over there, Jeremy Karpf behind the camera over there. Let's talk about a guy that got right in front of the camera and really shined in prime time. Jimmy Butler was phenomenal in the late third, early fourth quarter. We'll call it the end of game
Butler
section.
At your service.
So he really serviced the Celtics over the last 14 minutes where he scored 23 points. So we'll call the last 14 minutes of the game
Butler
the end of game. So he had like a streak of like 4 straight possessions where he scored 10 points at the end of the third, beginning of the fourth quarter. And that the Celtics just couldn't really contain him. He was dominant at the end of the game. They had really figured out how to stay over picks on him, which was really a crucial part of their game plan. Something I wrote about yesterday, or I guess now it would be Saturday on Celtics Blog. We did a detailed film dive into that, talking to all the guys that defended him, and it was working for a little while. And then the end of the game happened, and they couldn't. You know, Robin Lopez is the best moving screener we've seen in the NBA since Kevin Garnett. He is as good as they get. And he carved up so much space for Jimmy Butler to operate free, where guys just couldn't get around Lopez anymore. And, you know, they didn't want to switch. They want to stay within their matchup. Something that Stevens told me after the game was they really don't want to have to switch off of a screen because you can get really screwed up against this Bulls team where they got 4 shooters on the floor a lot of the time. And they really had to fight through, but then when they were trying to fight through and they couldn't get through at the end of the game and they weren't switching, that's when Butler was able to get some space and all the shots went down for him.
Superstar player. You knew it as a matter of time. Everybody says it about superstar guys. They keep shooting. They don't stop because eventually they're going to start falling. The thing about Butler is when his offense isn't clicking, his defense still is. A lot of times he can a good defensive play can kind of give you that little momentum, that little swing to switch things up on the offensive end and get you going in the right direction. And in the fourth quarter, he took over. He was blown by guys like Jay Crowder going to the rim. And like you said, Robin Lopez is such a big body. We know how big he is because he's literally grabbing every single rebound within a 10-foot perimeter of him. And when he's setting screens for Butler, Butler's a big dude. Whether he's driving to the lane off the pick or whether he's popping, he's lethal. He's a superstar. And we said this last week when we talked about ways the Bulls can hurt you. It's Jimmy Butler. I mean, he's their Isaiah Thomas in the sense where if he's on, they should be in contention every game. If he's not on offensively, because he does have those games sometimes where the shot's not falling, well, that's why the Bulls were one of the worst shooting teams in the NBA this year and why they grab a lot of rebounds is because they miss a lot of shots.
I mean, you were talking about the differential before. Isaiah was at a plus
12, yeah.
And Jimmy had a -3, which is, I mean, Jimmy played most of the game, and the Bulls really only had their advantage when Isaiah was off the floor.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like Butler had this like perfectly efficient night.
No,
he
it was just a
mediocre
fourth quarter
until that fourth quarter and the end of the third. They did a good job there, but Robin Lopez and the guys that were rebounding, Bobby Portis especially, that's what really that was the biggest issue for the Celtics. Because like Steven said to me after the game, he knew that you're going to see Butler explode at some point. Butler's not going to miss shots all night. But it was keeping them off the glass consistently, or at least just like trying to play them even. They lost a rebound battle 53-36.
That is just...
The Bulls had 20 offensive rebounds.
God-awful.
And Robin Lopez had 8 of them. He didn't even grab an offensive rebound in the fourth quarter. 20 offensive rebounds, that's the 11th time that's happened to the Celtics in the playoffs in the last 34 years.
And I don't care how good the Bulls might be at rebounding or how bad the Celtics might be. That's pretty unacceptable, especially in a playoff game. They're going to look at the film. They're going to say, okay, why were we out of position so many times? Where do we need to be? Why weren't we more aware of where some of these guys were?
They weren't even out of position a lot of the time. They just got their asses beat a lot on those rebounds.
It can't all just be effort, though. It's got to be awareness of where these guys are coming in from. Jay Crowder in the guard said it. They admitted it after the game. They've got to crash the boards in those situations. You can't just be parked out at the three-point line waiting for the outlet pass because it might not come. You got to crash the boards. Avery Bradley was one of the best rebounding guards in the NBA this year. I mean, he averaged almost 7 a game.
3 tonight.
3 tonight. I mean, that can't happen. Obviously, you're not going to get a whole lot out of Isaiah, but the guys like Crowder, the guys like Smart and Bradley, those guys need to be way more active on the glass.
Isaiah was actually getting aerial and really fighting for rebounds in the fourth quarter. He was the one that was really trying to turn it around. Horford was having a very good night. He had 7 rebounds up until the halfway point of the third quarter. It didn't have a single rebound after that.
Yeah, I mean, Horford's one of those guys. I mean, Horford and Amir Johnson, if those guys aren't doing their part down low and being more physical and grabbing boards, it's going to get very ugly. It's going to get very ugly. And I have to give a shout-out to YouTube commenter Hugh, who called us out last week in the comment section saying we weren't giving the Bulls any respect and that they're an extremely good rebounding team. I got to give him props for, you know, he was right on about that. The Celtics got worked on the boards tonight.
For the record, I called the Bulls or the Celtics in 6. So
I called Celtics in 3. That's not going to happen anymore. It now
it'll have to be at least 4 based on your math. Yeah.
Mathematically 4, maybe 5.
In real life 5. Yeah.
In real life 5. Actually, now watching the Bulls, I think they can win another one in Cleveland. I don't know. It's going to be tough. I'm going to still say 5. But 6 isn't going to scare. 6 isn't out of the realm. Not 7.
Okay.
This is not going
so
7.
somewhere between 5 games and 7 games. There we go. All right. Well, we'll be back with another.
Celtics are still going to win this series, okay?
Well, we won't be back. They're still good. I'm still confident the Celtics are the favorite to win the series.
Yes.
But this was a huge win for the
is a
Chicago
wake-up
Bulls.
call.
And if Isaiah doesn't play in Game 2, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Celtics going down 0-2 into Chicago.
If Isaiah doesn't play in Game 2, yeah, they're not going to win that game.
It's scary times in Boston for Celtics fans. So let us know what you think in the comments. We will be back for a third part.
But you got to be nice, though.
You have to be nice. This guy will be gone. He'll be replaced with Sean Hyken of the Athletic Chicago, one of my favorite people around the NBA covering a specific team, and definitely one of my favorites covering the Chicago Bulls. He will be great, and we will film that soon, and we'll have it up for you soon. So stay tuned here. Continue to watch as we have all the locker room coverage here on CLNS Radio. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Share these videos because those videos is what's paying for me to go travel with the team to cover Games 3 and 4, for us to continue to do this, and for the lights to stay on when the garden lights go off up here. So please share and support our YouTube channel, as we've been working hard for you guys all year, and we love it, but we need your support. So we'll be right back with another part of the Garden Report, powered by SeatGeek here on CLNS and Celtics Blog.